Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We are excited that you're here with us on Co-working Live with Red Worldwide. And today is our Wednesday. So if you joined us from YouTube, you might see this later and just know that on each day we have a specific thing that we work on here in our co-working sessions. So some of you guys who have the opportunity to, if you go to redworldwide.org, you can see that you'll see the link where it says attend co-working now. And if you decided that you wanted to just be in the Zoom room so you can get access to what we do before we go live, you can do that because you have an opportunity before we go live to, inform our process for the day. If you have a question or something that you would want to see us work on, we do get an opportunity to do that, based on the information that you bring forth. And so it's really important to know that that is an option that you can take advantage of to be online. The other thing is that when you go to the website, you would also be able to click on the calendar and see what we focus on each in particular day, and then see what our co-working times are, because that is something that can also be really important to see. As we change schedules, sometimes our co-working changes schedules, and so we know we have a big change coming up on the 20th of this month, where we will be online Monday through Friday, and we won't have a Saturday co-working any longer. But what we will have instead will be our co-working sessions will happen Monday through Friday, but at different times. So there'll be Monday, Wednesday, which will be at 7 a.m. in the morning. And then we'll have Tuesday, Thursday, which will happen in the evenings. And then we'll have a Friday in the afternoon. So for those of you who have a difficult time getting in on the mornings and you want to be a part, you'll now have other opportunities because we are making these opportunities available to you at different times during the day. So with that said, I just want to lead you to making sure that you go over there to our website and take advantage of what you might see there. Well, today we are going to continue with our uh, I guess I would say our focus mode. We're focusing on mind and how our minds and how they work, with regards to our creativity and innovation and being able to keep our companies fresh and full of ideas on in every area. And so in order to do that, we know that sometimes we have to do things a little differently with regards to what we are doing in our bodies. And the last few weeks on Wednesdays, we've been kind of talking more about, how you treat your body. I think 2 weeks ago, we really, really, really did a kind of a deep dive, to look at what you need to do to make sure that you got mindset working for you. And some of those things we looked at, were things that are kind of, it seems like they're basic, but a lot of us don't get enough rest. Some of us are pulling the midnight oil, where we are working on our projects and our businesses from home already. And so we tend to stay at our desks way longer than we should. We don't take the necessary amount of breaks. We're not standing, we don't have some systematic way of reminding ourselves that every hour we should get out of the chair, and you need to be drinking plenty of water. And so sometimes we have to do the things like, I have my little cup sitting on my desk right here so that I can have it in front of me and I'll know to drink water. Because if I don't do that, then what happens is that I end up not drinking, and I'll go, half the day without realizing, oh my goodness, I haven't had a drink of water all day long, or so far in the day. So, doing these things would really help. And so we talked about that on 2 weeks ago. Then last week we really went into, some more core things that we need to do to just make sure we have our mental health working for us the way that it's supposed to. And I've talked about my mental health journey and how at one point in time in my life, I lost my memories, or some of my memories, and because of trauma. And as a result of that, I had kind of a road back, to really making sure that I could be in a situation where, everything is firing. So I have different types of supplements that I take. I use a lot of mushrooms, especially the lion's mane, to help with brain health. And for just being, perfectly, honest, I have times where, I'm reaching for memories because if I'm too tired or I'm stressed or, any of those things, I've got lots of deadlines. Sometimes you'll hear me go, well, that's as a result of those, times when I'm misfiring. So I have to put the right things in place where I'm getting the necessary amount of rest during the week and, trying to make sure that everything is working for me in a way that is very, I should say, supportive, of my mental health, and that also includes my diet. And I've been very careful to make sure that I have a more Mediterranean diet and I'm eating lots of nuts and seeds and grains, during the week, but I have to be careful again and in moderation to add all of the leafy greens and all of those things. So we're in a few weeks, we're going to do something on diet and we're going to talk about the necessary things for brain health and what you might want to include in your backpack if you're going to be working in your office, to have for snacks and things that will really help to boost you in the middle of the day. Chia seeds and, mung beans and all of these wonderful things that have been the go-to for people for many, many years. The Native Americans have used chia, to boost their energy. And we found out a lot of information about the chia seed and, also flax seeds, another really good resource for you to put in your diet, and we talk about the ways that you can eat them and how you can activate nuts and seeds to make them even more potent. So we'll look at that in a couple of weeks. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a little app that we're creating for people who are, and not just really business owners, but especially business owners, to kind of keep themselves mentally fresh and to do things during the day to help their physical bodies when they're sitting at their desk. And so I'm going to share my screen because we're doing this in the no code way. And so on Thursdays, we talk about how we use tech, and we've been talking about how you can create no code apps. And so one of the no code builders that we use for lots of things is JotForm. And with JotForm, we have an enterprise account. And so that gives us the opportunity to use some of the more, well, anybody could use it, but we use the unbranded method so that we don't have to have JotForm's name all over our apps and forms that we create here. And so we've begun to create this app called Mind Apt, and it's MINDAPT. And this is how it would look on a phone. So if you're looking, to see what it looks like, that's the Mind app. And we have what we call Mind Aptery, which are these little small courses here that we have. And they're really activities. They're not really courses, but they're micro activities that you can do during the day to melt stress, escape anxiety, get a little small nap if you need to, and it tells you how to get a better one. Here's a stress buster, and there's a 5-day challenge in here, and then there's some desk stretches. Now we have some other things that we're loading in here that'll be here by tomorrow, but for today we have these particular ones. And so I wanted to kind of show you what they look like, so that if you're going to this from your desktop, you'll be able to click on melt stress, and it's going to take you to the area where you can do just that. Do a melt away stress with a 3-minute breathing exercise, the activity. And when you click here on the arrow, it's going to actually take you through a breathing sequence. And this is something that's really an amazing tool that you can use during the day to help you increase focus. And I've used these breathing exercises myself personally. I am an alternative practitioner. And so when I'm working with clients, I've used these to help them, refocus their attention back on whatever it is that they're working on. When I began to work on my dissertation, I already had, have the human the doctors of doctorate of humanities, but I'm also working towards the natural medicine doctor um, uh, degree, and I'm on a little bit of a hiatus from that right now, and I'll be going back into it when I finish the current master's program, which I'm done in, I think, October or November, and then I'll jump back into my alternative health doctorate program. But what I want to share with you about this is that my dissertation is on, the tie-in between mental and emotional and physical wellness and success in business. And so we've learned a lot. We've got a lot of research that we're doing right now to really show how when you tie these things together, it really does make it such that you are more successful in your business. You can not just sell more, but you can be more in your company when you are better mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so we are going to look at this from that standpoint, and that's why we include it in our co-working sessions, because there are some of us, like I said, we would work until we can't work anymore. Sometimes I'll go to bed and I'm just so exhausted, I'm falling over, and within 2 minutes I'm knocked out. Then other times, because I'm so exhausted, I just can't get to sleep. So the 3-minute breathing practice is really one that is very effective in a couple of ways. It will help you to reduce your times when your mind is wandering and give you that, pristine focus during the day while you're working on something. But then I have another one that actually helps you fall asleep. So we're going to look at the 3-minute breathing practice for focus right now. And so basically this particular little exercise, which I did not create, by the way, this is one that we got access to through one of our other softwares that we use for creating e-learnings. And so basically it just shows you how to get comfortable, and that you need to relax and sit up straight. And then it gives you the sequence here to breathe in for 4, inhale deeply through your nose for 4 counts. And then you're going to hold for 7. And so you're doing this on your phone. So it's walking you through so you can time and make sure that you're getting the right time. And then you're going to breathe out for 8, okay? And it's going to give you the exhale sequence, and you'll be able to do that. And it does this for you, for enough times so that you can get that focus that you need to have. And, once you've done this, I think it's 3 times that it takes you through, so that you have the ability to get the oxygen to the brain in such a way that it, causes the brain to do what it's supposed to do for focusing. Okay. So yeah, actually it's 4 times that it takes you through it. So that's a really, really good sequence to do when you're working and you're needing to take a little bit of a break, take 4 or 5 minutes to get here to the app and on your phone or on your tablet, or if you have to on your computer, and melt stress away. Then there's an escape anxiety one, which is a really good one, which also does include some breathing and a couple of other things in there. But I want us to take a look at the 5 steps to 5 tips for better naps right quick. So, this one is pretty interesting because it gives you the ability to, see what you might do to get some better naps. Okay. And so all of these are available inside the app. The Stress Buster, which is another really good one. It does, it's 9 steps, okay, for stress busting, and it actually includes some breathing and some other things as well. So I want you to really take advantage, um, of all of this that's there, because we want you to have the ability to do a little bit better, you know, when it comes to your mental wellness and physical and emotional wellness. And I know that we can do better when we have access to better tools. Okay. So with that said, there are a couple other things that we want to take a look at, you know, when we're thinking about, you know, our mental, physical, and emotional health. And I want to kind of talk about some of the we're going to have some mindscaperies in this app, which allows you to really move into a place of where you can escape through, you know, music therapy and sound therapy, which are great tools to use. And we have those going into the app. And so you'll be able to have some different mindscapes that you can use. And then, of course, we have a few courses that you can take in the app. And those courses really do allow you to take advantage of some other areas of, you know, wellness. And I'm going to share one of them right now because I want you to, you know, just to kind of see and have this preview. The app is free. We're not charging for it. It's something that we wanted to make available to our members. And as a result of that, you know, you have the ability to get yourself into a better mental shape, better emotional and physical shape that, you know, will work your mental thought process differently, you know, and cause you to get into some, I don't know, more a deeper process of being able to focus your attention on you and what it is that you can do for yourself, you know, to be better at your business activities. So here is one of the courses that we have that's going to be in the app that deals with goal setting and how you can plan for, you know, the long haul, some goals that really do work. So setting goals that actually work, and you'll just, you know, click in here, and inside of the app, you'll be able to take this little small course. And there's a nice little video here that actually will help you learn more about what goal setting is and why it requires sacrifice and the benefits you can expect from goal setting. And then it kind of walks you through the, you know, the difference between a goal and a system, and how you can utilize both the goal and the system, you know, as you are, you know, creating a process for yourself. Okay. And so it's a really good course for you to take. And again, like I said, this will be in the app tomorrow. So you'll be able to download it. You can download it today, but this will be in the app tomorrow. And so it'll be in the comment section in our YouTube, and it will be in the chat for you if you're online with us in Zoom. So a couple of other things that we wanted to kind of cover. I've got some people in the chat right now. C. Morgan is saying we forget to rest being occupied by the task at hand. Yes. And so we need to set alarms. And so that was one of the things that I was going to talk about. Thank you. You know, and it's really interesting that a lot of the people who we are, you know, having as members are in the Apple ecosystem. You know, we do have some who are more in Android, but most of us are in Apple ecosystem, and the trusty little Apple Watch is so very helpful for reminders, because what it does is, and you know, a lot of times I don't have my phone right in front of me when I'm working with a client, especially because I don't want to be distracted and I want to be all in with what it is that I'm doing with them. But my watch is here, and I have my watch set to remind me every hour to stand. I also have it set to remind me, you know, other little health things that I need to be working on, you know, in terms of my getting some steps in and drinking some water. Okay. You know, so these are things that I have to do because for whatever reason, I'll forget. And I used to be in a situation where I would even forget to eat. So the reminders or alarms, can be used to remind you when to take your lunch. Because some of us will try to wait until, well, oh, I'm going to wait till I have a free moment. And the free moment is at the end of the day. So it is important, unless you are doing an intentional fast of some sort, that you have yourself on a schedule and that you're not eating all over the map. Some of us are, trying to get ourselves healthier and losing weight, and all of these things are part of it. And unfortunately, our bodies don't understand what we're doing because we're doing it at different times every single day. We might feed it at, breakfast on one day, and then we might do breakfast and lunch on another day. And then another day we might do mm, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but maybe dinner is at 9 o'clock at night, and lunch which was at 1 o'clock day before yesterday, is now at 4 o'clock. And so the body's confused. It's very confused, and so we want to get us on more of a schedule. So if you are intentionally fasting, and some of us are doing intermittent fasting because it is working for us, we need to even, know on a schedule when we're going to do that. Is this an 18-hour, a 16-hour, is this a 12-hour day? And if we can get our bodies to see that every week we have this kind of schedule that we're doing, then it does really help us, to work through everything we need to work through. So we're very excited to push forth these ideas about scheduling. But the other thing that I want to say to you is that I have noticed, and since we're talking about mind aptness and mind aptery, I've noticed that when I use the practice of working in different environments on different days, that it does also help me to focus and keep my ideas fresh. When I'm stuck in one place, sometimes what happens is that I, get brain fog, or I'm not quite firing on all cylinders, after a period of time. So I have created for myself 3 different offices at one location. And let me tell you how I've done that. We work from home, and in working from home, we have 3 floors where we live. And so we have utilized these 3 floors very differently than most people, I'm sure, that who are in a townhouse, or they live in, a type of situation where they have, areas that are a little bit more spacious. And so what we've decided to do is we have our main office on our 3rd floor. And that's where both my husband and I work from, daily, when we're in our California location. But when we're not necessarily needing to be in front of the screen, or on Zoom, and or in a private situation, I have created for us an outdoor office on our balcony. And that office allows us to have access to some of the same amenities that our upstairs office does, but it gives us the ability to be outside and be near sunshine and air and all of this wonderful, type of outdoor experience. Okay. The environment or atmosphere is much different. And we have the ability to clear our heads, and I call that our clear space, because it doesn't have as much electronic equipment out there. It's just literally a monitor, and we can hook up a tablet or a computer to it, and not have all of the menagerie of other types of things that are in the main office. Okay. And so it does give us more options. And I like to just take my tablet down there and hook the tablet up to the monitor, so I can kind of reduce the electromagnetic frequencies, and get them down to even less of a thing, if I can say it that way. And sometimes I'll even use it over the ear headset, that's plugged in, as opposed to Bluetooth, again, to reduce a lot of the frequencies, and have myself more in a mindset of being able to decompress while working. And so that makes things a lot differently. And then, of course, I've created another space that is, it's still inside, but it's, downstairs in an open area that's a lot larger, because I feel like I can think larger when I'm in a larger space. I don't know if that works for anyone else, but it worked for me when I was, doing a lot more artwork where I was painting or drawing. I really needed the big space so that I could just kind of stretch out in my creativity. And it works for me in business as well. I tend to get a lot more ideas coming. And when I have to brainstorm, I like brainstorming in a large area. So sometimes going to the park or, going to, if you don't have, more than one room at your place, or you don't have a larger room, then create a larger space at someone else's room. Okay. Go to the library, go to, community co-working spaces and things of that nature. Get outside of your comfort zone so that you can refresh your mind and bring to your, your environment the ability for you to stretch out a little more. And I don't know for anyone else if this kind of works, but what I do is, because I've been working from home so long, I've had to think about this differently. I plan for opportunities to leave my location and go and have meetings with myself. And so some of you guys saw when we were doing the episode where we were talking about tax, we talked about having a meeting with yourself for 15 minutes every week, to get your proverbial finances in order, and to, put some things down. Well, that also works with innovation and creativity, having that 30-minute time a week where you're somewhere and you're brainstorming and thinking about ideas and, actually innovating or thinking about your next iteration of a particular product or concept. It does really work. And so, in a minute, I'm going to open up the lines so that people can kind of share, if they have some innovation ideas and things that they've done, to keep themselves fresh. But I can tell you this, if Google, Amazon, Apple, and some of these very large companies have done the research to see what they can do to get more innovative ideas to create better opportunities for people to be creative and to have more of the inventor's mindset, while they're working on the projects for their companies, and they have found ways to make that work for them inside of their companies. They've built out rooms and spaces. And I talked about our office in Texas, where we have, a wonderful space, that's there for people to decompress during the middle of the day, and what I've also done is I've made sure that in each of these spaces, I've got diffusers and essential oils, to also, brighten up the room with the frequency of a particular oil, and it helps to clear my head. A lot of times to use specific oils, and that's a totally different session. We're not going to do that episode today, but I can just tell you that we have certain oils that we use in certain places that actually does the trick for me to bring out certain concepts. And I've invented or created a lot of things. And in some years, more things than others, based on how I've been able to manage this particular part of my life. But I can say right now, this year has been a year of tremendous creativity for me, because I have returned to some of the basic practices that helps to get me the internal focus that I need, that gives me the freedom, to brainstorm and create, and to not feel stuck in a little small space, so much so that I'm not able to iterate at the level that I need to. And so with that said, I want to just kind of pull on a couple of the people in the room that have, some expertise in this area, of dealing with mindset and things that they may have, experienced. And so I know I have Kevin available, and I know he coaches in a lot of the areas dealing with mental health and mental wellness. And so, Kevin, if you'll unmute your mic and just share a little bit with us of things that you see as it being important, and how potentially you have used space and time to help you iterate on and become more innovative in your work.
Yes, I really have benefited from using change of location in like sometimes working at a Starbucks or going to the library has worked for me. Um, the local library has a specialized room that you can rent out. There's no charge for it. But you can use that room so you can have a Zoom meeting in there and you won't be disturbing other library patrons. Um, so I've done that. And I'm also a big proponent of essential oils. I've found that helpful to kind of alter my state of my state of consciousness, you know, and there's some ones that are like rosemary and stuff like that that are really good for brain health. Um, I found that helpful. And um, so, yeah, just getting a change of scenery, working outside. I've worked in parks too. Um, um,
What are some of the cues or things that you've done when when you've been in smaller spaces that actually have really helped you to maintain, just the ability to be free to, um, get the creativity out?
Smaller spaces. Well, I know that lighting really helps. Like in when I'm not in a space that's really bright, I think I have a tendency to be a little bit more tired and lethargic. So really bright lighting is really helpful, and it's better for an on-camera presence if you're doing a Zoom meeting. And I try to make my small spaces kind of livable, like have some plant life in there, have something that makes it, you know, reminds me of the outside. And I like to have the windows open for some fresh air, you know, when I'm inside. So I like to create a spaciousness in my apartment. Also, mirrors can help. Mirrors can help make a space become like larger and um, also finding that like sound therapy, like having like a water feature, like a fountain or something going on in the background can be very soothing and kind of be a buffer for like the stress of work or whatever, have a little buffer in the background.
Okay, so you've given us like a bunch of stuff. So I want to go back to your first thing that one of the first things that you talked about was the lighting. And so sometimes having outdoor light is good, but I have also been a proponent of not just the outdoor lighting, but also using indoor bright lights through
Mm-hmm.
and I love this happy light. Matter of fact, I have one. Hold on just a second. I want to show you.
Patience, I have those too. I've used those for my mental health to
Right.
overcome
So,
seasonal affective
I'll share
disorder.
mine because, I think that this is the one, the original Happy Light. And I tell you, this thing here has been so amazing. I
Yeah.
wanted to just kind of show what it looked like because this is a newer version than the one that I have,
Okay.
and how it's set up. But it does really, I mean, I tell a tremendous difference, and I'm able to get really good sleep at night when
Yeah.
I'm using it, for a certain 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, you know,
Yeah.
just utilizing the happy light during the time while I'm either working or, just sitting and reading. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to just share what mine looks like so that you can kind of see it. So I know it's the older version. Oh gosh. Okay. There we go. Um, but it is, just kind of a really good tool. Sometimes you can find them for a really good deal at a few different stores. I got mine. I know it says $69, and that's what it was normally costing back then, even when I bought it initially. However, what I have found is that they, ever so often you'll find it for a really good price, especially on Amazon. So that's really good.
Yeah. I
Um,
got mine at Costco.
Oh,
I found
wow.
mine at
Okay.
Costco. Yeah,
Yeah, so
I got a good
that's a really
price.
good place to get it. So I'm sure you probably got a really good deal there. But that type of lighting is really good. Now I have one on my desk and I can't really show it to you guys right now, but I use it also. It has it's the same type of happy light feature, but it is amazing as lighting for Zoom calls.
Okay.
So it kind of serves double duty. So I've got it going while I'm on my Zoom calls. And so I'm getting the benefit of this daylight, and I also have the benefit of having the lighting to look a certain kind of way for calls. So that's really good as well. And then you mentioned also the ability to have the windows open, and have outdoor air coming inside. That does really help. And having a window in the room where you're working is a really good thing if you can arrange that. Now, let me tell you, because I've been in situations where, we have traveling offices, so we are working in different states. So when we go to Texas, we have a different kind of office, no outside window at all,
Oh, okay.
that office. So we really do depend on having, some ventilation, and ventilation is very, very important. I found that we had a situation in that office, which the company that owns the building, they came in and they fixed it, but we were getting all kind of garbage air, is what I call it, coming
Oh.
through with dust and every kind of other thing, And I'm like, why is it when I come in my office, I just feel sick? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at some point we were gone for a while and we came back and it was just like this thin layer of film across the desk, which lets me know we're inhaling this stuff, whatever it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
so I'm sharing this because I want you to understand that you need to make sure that if you have, some sort of a internal ventilation from in your office, that they're cleaning
Yeah.
the air vents and that they are
Yeah. Yeah.
putting in new filters, because that is very,
Yes.
very, very important. You could be breathing in toxic stuff, which is causing mental, impairment, and you may not
Right.
realize it. So, make sure if it's you and you're able to, control that, you're the person that is the owner, or the person who is in charge of changing the filters, because you have the kind of office that is not on a triple net lease or something where you have the responsibility of doing these things for yourself. Please take the time
Mm-hmm.
to do it for yourself. And if you're the
Yes.
person that actually has the opportunity where you're not doing it yourself and you have to send off information to let people know it's time for the filter to be changed, because for
Yeah.
whatever reason they don't have it on some sort of a rotation, just make sure you're sending that out, because it's really important to create the atmosphere and environment that you need, for good mental and emotional health. When you have stuff happening where things are coming through the air vent, sometimes emotionally it can really affect you, in a very bad way. And if the temperature is not right, let's talk about temperature. We got a little
Yeah.
bit left. Let's talk about temperature. Temperature is also really important. I noticed that when it is too hot in the office, I have a really
Mm-hmm.
hard time focusing. It's just like, okay, I've got to fix this. So you may need to be the one that actually closes the vent. Okay, because if you don't have the control of the thermostat where you can change
Right.
the temperature, closing the vent to not to slow down the amount of heat that gets into your space might be,
Mm-hmm.
or cold for that matter, it might be a thing. At my office in Texas, and not so much Florida or here, but in California, but at the office in Texas, there is a tremendous issue with it being too cold during the summer.
Okay.
Everybody else in that wants the air conditioner because it's so hot outside. And so it ends up being like 50 degrees in my part of the building, because
Oh.
we have the office and we have cubicles and all of that, but
Yeah.
where we're centrally located, it gets colder over there than it is in any other part of the building. So we have had to have them reroute some things in the air ducts so that
Oh.
the cold air is just not blowing on us. Because even if we close the vents, it still is way too cold, And so we want to, make sure that that's appropriate for everybody that works in the building on our side where we are.
Mm-hmm.
especially people that are working with us and for us, and when we have clients that come in, we don't want them to be freezing, but it
Right.
does do affect you. So I want to offer, before we jump off of here, Crystal, did you have some ideas? I mean, she's an amazing coach as well, and I know she's working constantly with businesses and business owners. Did you have anything else that you wanted to? I know you threw out the natural sunlight, which is great, and I utilize that. But is there anything else that you think that we need to, share today?
I like having like the little water fountains, the little
The water
like
feature, yeah.
yes, I like having those sometimes. That actually helps, or even like I said, just taking a walk if you can't go far, maybe a couple steps pace in the office or something. Just sit there, enjoy, or even have your computer faced at the window when you if you do have a window, so
Mm.
that helps too. So you're looking outside and you can take when you have to take those mini breaks looking at the computer like 20 seconds, just look away from the computer for a little bit, look outside. It would change how you're feeling, especially if you love nature and like having that. I
Hmm.
think the water features or even music, something just really quick that can
Good
get you moving.
morning.
And even like you're talking about the essential oils and things, a fruit, something that would just get you going in your snacks. A lot of
Yeah,
things that you guys
I
said a
like
lot of
orange oil.
things.
Orange oil is really good.
Which one?
Yeah, orange oil is wonderful.
Yeah. And the other thing that I've not a stress, it's like a stress ball, but it feels like a putty too. So you have a
Hold on, I
tactical
got one of them.
relaxation.
Yeah,
So
nice.
here's one that we use, and Javon is the one that actually got us into this particular one. It's called
Hmm.
pinching. There
Yeah.
we go. And it's really good because it smells amazing. Refocus, rebalance, restore. So in the middle of the day, um, we might decide that we want to pull out our pinch me putty and
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it's really great for just, manipulating in the hands, and it does,
Hmm.
Yeah.
emit an essential oil because this particular brand, they have different choices
Okay.
on which particular essential oil you want to be in your pinch me dough. Not
Oh,
necessarily
nice.
a good thing to put around kids because it does smell like something that you might want to eat. So got to be a little
Oh,
careful with
okay.
that. Even though this is not a toxic one, if they eat it, they're not going to die, but it's just not probably the best. It says do not eat on it, even though it's non-toxic. So, but it
You
does
want to do the
contain,
temptation or entice them. So
Right.
it's like,
but
okay,
that usually helps maybe even with people sometimes who have anxiety or it helps decrease some of that using your different senses like you said, the smell, the tact,
Mm.
the touch, the physical, and then you
Yeah.
start to really occupy your mind. In a sense, it changes the way your brain is thinking at the moment. It's distracting it, but it actually giving it, and you're exercising at the same time, especially when you're on the keyboard a lot. So
yeah.
pinching that and using a stressing, you exercise your hands, which we don't do a lot, our hands and our wrist. So those are some little things that I like to incorporate.
Okay, so
Yeah.
plug for Coach Crystal. She also is, would you call yourself a retired nurse, Crystal? What
Ow.
You can, I guess, in a sense. I just wasn't able to do it anymore. Well, in that that capacity of it, I still do it. The psych parts, the mental health part. So
Yeah, but yeah, she's a nurse, and she has a lot of really good skills. So, I'm gonna pull on her for my dissertation because the research is really important to me, to understand, just in what she does, how the mental health, emotional health, and physical health does help to inform her clients, of what it is that they need to do to be more successful in their businesses. And so, but with that said, we're going to hear from her in another week or so. I'm trying to give her a week to prepare, to get us, into um, what it is that we need to be doing, as business owners to help ourselves become more proficient. Good morning, Deborah. Glad that you're on the line today. We missed you earlier. Yeah. So just let's jump back in here tomorrow and learn more about tech. But I wanted to, to make sure you guys knew that we have these particular things that we can do
Ow.
as
Yes.
owners of businesses, people who are running a company, or, even if you're working as a contractor or an employee, it's so important for you to, be giving yourself what it needs so that you can improve mental clarity, improve focus, and, create for yourself the environment that you need to have so that you can do business better. That is the most important thing. And that's what we are focused on over here, which is the reason why we provide these co-working sessions where we can kind of chat about all things business and what it is that we need to do to make sure that we are being more accountable to create more valuable companies. Well, with that said, we're going to sign out for the moment, but we'll see you again here next time.